dare you? Except it's like,
what's up, everybody? Pablo says, I'm retired. Why aren't you? That's what Pablo says. Because Pablo, he knows how to appeal to the ladies. Appreciate y'all being here. Fighting a little bit of sniffles. I think it's the springtime, with all the pollen and stuff kicking out there. A little bit of a headache, a little bit of sniffles. Well, Josh is so sad. You get the sniffles. You got to go to the emergency room. Pulverize says, where can he get me some gold-back rubles? No idea, man. No idea. So I appreciate y'all being here. I was going to start the stream while we're waiting for people to jump in to see if, hey, Mark, what's going on in Jersey, man? What's going on in Philly out there, Mark? You still in Philadelphia, or did you relocate to South Jersey, which is the last I understood that you were trying to do? So Pulverizer Mark's on board here so far. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm on a losing weight quest. Me and my better half today. I said, man, we've been eating this HelloFresh. Hey, Tom. We've been eating this HelloFresh, which I like, but I just think it's put on weight. I can feel it in my face. I can feel it in my belly. And I think there's a lot of carbs, lots of carbs. So I'm going off. You're going to see me working hard to lose some weight, guys. Hello. Relocate back to Philly, then relocate back to South Jersey. Right on. Noonan, Georgia. Right on. Marie from Pennsylvania. Don. My man Tom Major from Maryland's on board. Right on. We got a Facebook like from John Holiday. All right. Right on. John Holiday is Elon Musk. John Holiday looks up to Elon Musk as his hero. But anyway, so I got to lose some pounds, dude. I was like, man, I could feel my belly. And, we took a trip to Cancun. Just lots of carbs going in this body. And I've been using my Ninja to cook up some massive potatoes, some massive amounts of short ribs, and just pasta. I got to get rid of the pasta. Auburn, Alabama, right on. All right. Hey, Vaughn. Clint's in the house. VA, Maryland's, Virginia's in the house. Spy on the Bird. I haven't seen Clint, our Marine guy here. So when Clint's on board, we got to slow it down. So Clint, we don't. If memory serves, Clint is the Marine Corps, or at least in not Paris Island, wherever the 29 Palms or something like that. So slow it down. Hey, Derek Lopez. I'm not on Rumble. I don't know, Jeremy. I know. I say this every single time. It's just I throw these streams out kind of last second. Every single time, man. I have 545 videos. I got a hell of a lot more than that, brother. Don says I got 545. What are you talking about? I got a lot more than that. Unless you're on a different channel. You might be on my Josh Scanlon channel as opposed to my Heritage Wealth Planning channel. We got Linda Zibluck. I'm not familiar with you, Linda. Que Paso. We got Shireen's in here. All right. Looks like a lot of new people here. TP RV Pilot. All right. Cool. Choctaw. Ron's in the house. Colorado is representing. All right. Hodges from Columbus. Right on. Army. All right. So Clint's in the Army. All right. Fort Ord, California. There we go. Harrisonburg, Virginia. Phil Bryant. Right on, Phil. How old are you, Phil? Because I lived in, not Harrisonburg. I lived in Dayton, Virginia for many, many moons. Rob's in the house in Worcester. Nancy from the coast. If memory serves, Nancy's in Florida, I think. Chris, New Jersey. All right. Gotcha. Cool. There's a congressman from New Jersey named Chris as well, Fort Worth. Like I said, so I'm. All right, so Clint, because he was in the Army, not the Marine Corps, we can talk like normal people. All right, sweet, good job. Right, I want to share with you guys some here today, real quick, and then Mississippi, okay, right on. Connecticut, all right on. And Kansas, A-10 pilot, man, I tell you, I remember when I was in the Army. Clint could probably testify to this. You have these A-10s going above you. You do these live fires, and I don't know how. Look, I've never been in combat. I'm thank the good Lord. Jam, you grab right on, Phil. Our job is protecting the grunts on the ground. What I'm saying, and you have these freaking A-10s with his Vulcans, and it'd be like this, and it was U.S. right on. We got U.S. Marine Bob, U.S. Marine Corps, part of Navy. Yeah, right on. and these no crayons needed, and these Vulcans would just fire these and you'd be like overhead. It scared the living bejesus out of you because you'd be like, dude, if they got some guy up there who's got we'll just say vaccine damage, if you know what I'm saying, and he makes his mistake in firing his A10, we're all gonna be dead. And I said, man, I don't know how these guys did it in real war because damn, I just never those A10s were allowed, and they just had it's like a monster going off. It scared you. It's, I mean, scary, man. I was like, yeah, I'm not keen on this stuff. That's for doggone sure. Anyway, those A10s, like my man said, protecting the grunts on the ground, right 100%. All right, so somebody said, come my way. Hey, Tom Major. Okay, you got some probe. All right. Started watching a show on Amazon called Outer Range. Pretty interesting, actually. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but every now and again, I like to, to chill. My RV9 is a heck of a lot of fun. Yep, Clint says A10s have rocked his world on more than one occasion. I can't imagine like just being, with like real bullets, real. I can't imagine that. Like they're really coming at you. That. All right, so I want to share with you. I thought this is pretty interesting, actually, and I got this email from Seeking Alpha right here about the ETF. This looks attractive to me. Actually, this is the ETF XHB, the Home Builders ETF, and it's down like 30%, almost year to date 30%, and since over the last year it's down 16%. But look at that year to date; that's in bear market territory for sure. And I compared it to the Vanguard Total Bond Index, and I compared it to VTI. So it's almost a third more than, or 2/3 worse than VTI, and it's roughly a little bit more than that with the bond index. So the bond index is down 10%, which is insane. I mean, look, no one expected bonds get knocked around like this, and I know I sound flippant on it. I look, just hang in. If you're in bonds, you're not selling. Who cares? Just hang in there. It's going to come. I mean, it's going to come back probably sooner rather than later. Frankly, I don't know, but now's not the time to leave the bonds. It's just not. Now, should you have been in cash? Maybe. I mean, but at the end of the day, you weren't. I'm not. And just take the loss and grin and bear it. And once the interest rates level off, you'll be fine. I can't guarantee anything. I imagine it'd be just fine. But anyway, if this is the worst it gets at 9, I don't think I've ever seen bonds drop that much in this short of time. This is literally probably the worst we've ever seen, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. And it's still only down 10%, not even year to date. But look at XHB, Home Builders. Now, the interesting thing is, it's not as if Home Builders were freaking tearing it up. I mean, watch this. Here's Home Builders, right at this point from 2000, from 5 years ago, it'd be 2020, 2017 or something like that, 16. It was up 127%, where VTI at this point was up. I'm not sure what VTI was up, but it's up more than about 93%. It looks like, I think. But anyway, is that so? There's a time there it beat VTI, but it's given all those gains, and right now it's well under VTI. If that makes sense. Now I'm telling you, man. And here's a bond fund way down here. So the bond fund hasn't done anything, but I mean, relative to the last 5 years, because it just had no interest. They pay no interest. Now it is going to pay interest, and now we have more volatility. The bonds can be more attractive. It's just simple stuff. Anyway, so this is VTI up here. Not VTI. This is VTI right here, and this is the bond, the Home Builders. I just anything that's down. I've always been I'm not a big investor. I don't trust me, man. My investment recommendations suck, donkey, whatever. But I just anytime I see something that's down 30% and is well below other things, I'm like, man, that's something to keep your eye on for sure. Because the Home Builders, there isn't enough homes. There's not enough homes, man. That's all there is to it. And can I guarantee that Home Builders are going to come back roaring? No, but they're just not enough homes. And I think what I do the last time I saw it's like 386,000 in the entire country listings. That's it. They're not building enough. The housing starts aren't enough. They're just not enough. Then we got these huge amounts of millennials who are now in the primo time for home buying, and there isn't enough. So we have the second largest generation the millennials now are coming to basically their late 30s. They're primo time for home buying, and the demand is huge relative to what it was for my generation. But there's not enough houses available, just not. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, people say housing bust all the time. We're gonna have this housing decline. I'm like, how, man? They can raise interest rates, but that didn't stop the housing growing from the 70s and 80s. It just didn't. The cost of housings went up. And as such, it's kind of like, I don't know, that seems to be a flyer. I'd be willing to take a flyer on that. And I might. I haven't done it yet. I might. I probably won't because I'm just too lazy. Because I got everything in my IRA in Wellington, and my Roth, I'm all in the Vanguard dividend growth VDIGX is what I got in my Roth, and then I got some individual stocks. But that'd be something I'd take a flyer on 100%. Hey, we got Eric's in the house from Wisconsin. But anyway, so that's some of the things. I like things that are getting knocked around big time because especially if the demand is there, these companies aren't going kaput. Now they might get bought out by bigger concerns, some of these KB homes or whatever. They might buy out DR Horton, who might buy out, I don't know whether, but I just think it's opportunity. But anyway, let's see. So that's something I thought about doing for sure. All right. So we got. I watch a documentary called Buck once a year. Puts a lot. Hey. Oh boy, Trump rally speech is on. In Ohio, cool. What's Buck about, Vaughn? What's a documentary called Buck? What is that? Let's read it. Let's look up the documentary called Buck. I'm interested in if this is the same Vaughn I'm familiar with. Buck documentary. What's this about? Gander. The horse whisperers who help cowboys connect. All right. All right. Follows Brandeman from his abusive childhood to his phenomenally successful approach to horses. All right. Seems all right. Let's see. So Josh, I have 360,000. I need about 2,000 a month, a year. Any suggestions? I was thinking about, I don't know what Jeppy is. So this person needs 24 divided by 360. This person needs over 6.5%. So I don't know how old that person is, but good luck with that. That's gonna be tough. I don't know what Jeppy is. Buy your I bond before May. Is that when the interest rates will adjust? We got, how does it work with a bond fund? If I buy a bond at X dollars and bonds are expiring, repurchase all the time within the bond index fund, how does that affect my bond fund money? Ooh, I got to think this through. All right. So if you buy a bond at X, you're not buying a bond, you're actually buying the fund. All right. So you're buying the fund at, for just simplicity, the fund is, the NAV of the fund is 10. That's the when it was issued. You're buying a fund at 11. So we're saying you're buying it at a 10% premium. The reason you're buying it at a 10% premium is because the bonds, since the initial inception of the bond fund, the interest rates have gone down. I can't stress this enough. When interest rates have gone down, people are willing to pay more for the previous interest rates because they're paying more. And so let me just draw this out. It's actually not as hard as people make it seem. But you got literally, and again, for the 20,000, and it's okay. I like doing this because I think it's important. All right. So you got a bond that is issued at 1,000. It mature at 1,000. This is not debatable. As long as the bond doesn't go bankrupt, it will mature at 1,000. In the interim, you get 3%. That's the coupon. So you get $30 every year. All right. So you get a $30 coupon every year. Now, if the interest rates on the interest rates go up, so let's say you bought this bond in 2017. Now 2022 come around, and now interest rates aren't 3, interest rates are 5. All right, so now we're getting $50 every year in interest, whereas before we're only getting 30. All right, so newly issued bonds are paying 5. Well, no one wants a 3% bond if I can get a newly issued bond at 5. So the only reason I buy a 3% bond is if the price fell down. The price fell. And so I mean, it's just a mathematical concept. It's not hard once you figure out the math on it. And off the top of my head, I don't know it, but it's easy. So basically, people are saying, I'm not going to pay 1,000 for a 3% bond when I can pay 1,000 for a 5% bond. I will pay $867 for whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay to get the same yield. I will pay less. And so I'm not going to be able to figure this out off the top of my head. So to get, so basically, remember, this bond right here has a coupon of 5%, but because it's a new issue, it has a yield of 5%. The coupon and the yield are the same. I hope that makes sense. So now we got to figure out, this had a 3% coupon and a 3% yield when it was first issued. But now the coupon stays the same, but the yield won't be the same because the yield needs to compete with that. And so the yield is, I don't know how to figure this out off the top. I can't remember how to do this anymore. But if we take 3 divided by, is that 867? No, I don't know how to do it. But there's a mathematical way. It's actually quite simple. I just can't remember. So so this price will drop down and to make the yield here 5%. I don't know what that number would be, but let's just say for simplicity, you got you had $900, 3 divided by 900. Oops. So okay. So if the price of this bond fell to $900, the yield is now 3.3%. All right. I hope that makes sense. So if this bond fell to 900, the yield is 3.3. You're still getting a coupon of 3%, but you're getting on a lower price amount you put in. That it'll drop even more than that. And the reason it'll drop even more than that is because I can get a brand new issue bond paying 5. So we're gonna have to go down to $800 or and even at $800, this yield is still yield 3.75. That's not going to get the job done because people say, I will pay 1,000 for a 5% yield, which happens to coincide with my coupon, or I could pay $800 and still only get a 3% coupon that is yielding 3.75. I know it's probably confusing, but some of y'all will get that. So let's drop it down to 70. Now, $700 only have 4.2% yield. Let me draw that out for you. This is important. All right. So we know right now we got a brand new bond issued at 5%. That's the coupon, 5%. The coupon, you're getting $50 for every $1,000 invested. That is not debatable. We have a brand new bond that's yielding it's yielding in the coupon the same thing, and the initial part of it. Because it's issued at $1,000 and matures at $1,000 as a 5% coupon, 5%, or in this case, $50 divided by the price is the yield. So just to give you a yield, the current yield is coupon divided by price. So current yield is coupon divided by price. So coupon in this case is $50 divided by 1,000. So the current yield is 5% on that brand new issue bond. Everybody understand this. So we got a current yield of 5% because that is the coupon, which is 5% divided by price. Hope everybody gets this. Current yield is coupon divided by price. And the same goes for dividend yield too, by the way. All right. But I bought a bond that was 3%. All right. So now I got a 3% bond. If it's trading at 1,000, what is my current yield? Well, my current yield is 3% because current yield is coupon divided by price. But no one's going to pay $1,000 for a 3% bond if I can get $1,000 to get a 5% bond. No one's going to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to have a discounted price. And so we're going to get current yield, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. It's an easy mathematical concept on how to figure this out without me doing what I'm doing here, but I just can't remember how to do it. So I'm getting $30 over 900, $30 over 800, $30 over 700, $30 over 600. So here we got to figure out the current yield. So if the yield is 3% at $1,000, what is the yield on 900? We take 30 divide by 900, and that gives us a 3.3% yield. 30 divided by 800 is 3.75. 30 divided by 700, I think I said 4.25. 30 divided by 600 is 5%. So all things being even, Steven, my bond that I bought for $1,000 should only trade at $600 right now because it gives me the same yield, 5%, as a competing bond. Now, there's a couple of things that go in credit quality. If we're talking about government bonds, the credit quality is not an issue. Maturity, all right, so let's just say one bond matures in 5 years, one bond matures in 10. That'll have something else to do with it. But all things being even, I should pay $600 for that bond that's paying me 3% or $30 as a coupon, because that will give me a 5% yield. So I'm going to have it at a discount of 40%. 40%. So remember now, I'm buying this bond at $600. I'm getting 3% yield, 3% coupon. But check this out. This guy will mature at 1,000. So there's going to be, I can't remember if they call it income or capital gain. I can't remember on bonds. The taxation of bonds, I just forgot. Is that the income, the increase in the price from 600 to 1,000, because this will happen. It's guaranteed to happen. That increase in price is the reason I'm getting a 5% yield, because not only do I get a dividend or an interest of 3%, I'm also getting the equivalent of a 2% increase each year from 600 to 500. And that's the 2% capital appreciation, if you will, plus the 3% income. That's the 5%. And that's what happens. I hope that makes sense. But now the issue is mutual funds are doing the same thing. It's just they have, gobbles and gobbles. They have tons and tons of bonds in there. Actually, B&D only had 65 bonds. I was surprised by that. So the total bond index at Vanguard only had like 65 bonds. Crazy. But their bonds are dealing with the same thing. And so in the aggregate, the same exact thing is you're saying I'm buying a bond fund that is trading at, and most likely, a premium, because the bond interest rates are so low before that before us buying it at $1,100 for a bond that is going to mature at $1,000 because the interest rates have gone so low. But now it's the exact opposite. Now the interest rates have gone up. So now I'm buying bonds at $900 for a bond that's still going to mature at $1,000. Anyway, the point being is that's where the price decline comes, is that people are now paying, the price goes down of these current bonds because the interest rates have gone up, and significantly too, by the way. Doesn't matter. Those bonds are still going to mature at par value. It literally doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Bonds are, if you just put your mind around it. I buy something at 100, I get it back at 100. That's all that matters. In the interim, I'm getting a certain amount of interest in which to entice me to buy that bond. That's it. It's kind of like Jesus. Jesus either rose from the dead or he didn't. If he rose from the dead, he's probably God. If he didn't, then he's not. That's just that simple. I'm going to get my money back or I'm not. And if I don't get my money back because the bond went bankrupt, well, that sucks. But with government bonds, they can't go bankrupt. So I'm guaranteed to get my money back, and I'm guaranteed to get a certain amount of interest called the coupon, if that makes sense. All right. Yeah, you don't have to. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I-bonds you just got to hold for a year or something like that. I forgot what it is. But yeah, absolutely. No, it's not necessary. Absolutely. If you're over 59 and a half and your Roth is over 5 years old, and okay, if I'm over 59 and a half and my Roth is over 5 and info Roth conversions, okay, do I still have to wait? Okay, that's all right. So what he's saying is I got a Roth that's over 5 years old. I want to do more Roth conversions into that Roth. Do I still have to wait 5 years? The answer is yes. Specifically, you have to say Basically what's happening, each Roth conversion is its own 5-year. Lots of people disagree with that. That's fine. It's up to you and the IRS. However, if I'm advising people and I'm saying each Roth conversion has its own 5 years, better safe than sorry. So just keep that in mind. I don't even know why. Why would you do a Roth conversion if you're going to take the money out within 5 years anyway? I don't get that. So anyway, just remember, if it's each Roth conversion is its own unique 5-year rule. Some people say no, it's not. It's the beginning of when the first conversion was done. I'm just telling you. I used to think that. I thought there's a way to beat the IRS at its game, and there's not. So just FYI, each Roth conversion is only 5-year rule. Is it possible to retire funds, TSP funds, to Fidelity prior to retirement? Yes. I don't know about prior to separating from service in terms of the government or the military, but it's certainly possible to transfer over there before 59 and a half. Absolutely. 100%. I just don't know if you have what's called in-service distribution. In-service distributions are where you can transfer funds from your 401k to an IRA while you're still working. I just don't know if the government allows that. Need to hold 1 year. Can sell before 5 years. You lose 3 months of interest. There you go. Right on. Fast Eddie. Fast Eddie is telling us that you need to hold 1 year. You can sell before 5 years and you'll lose 3 months of interest. Perfect. Let me text my, hold on a second. Oops, hold on just a second. All right. Prudential got bought out? I didn't hear that. Really? By who? Prudential? Does that mean the stock went high? My reading spectacles. Oh, just Empower acquires Prudential Financial Retirement Business. All right. Not their insurance, though. All right. Man, put my mom in assisted living. Oh, that sucks, dude. Yep. I'm for my employer last month. I want to retire. They begged me not to. Exactly. That's happening all over the place. Remember they say age discrimination? I think those days, while they still might be here, are slowly coming to an end. The old white guys. We don't want you old white guys. You guys aren't woke enough. Now they're like, but we need you old white guys. You're the only one who has the skills. Say we need you. And this goes to black guys too, by the way. But generally speaking, the old white guys are the whipping boy nowadays. Like, you're a boomer white guy. Oh, we don't need you around. Who's going to come replace me to fix your HVAC system, the industrial HVAC fool? Well, AOC, Bernie Sanders. Yeah, good luck with that. Let's see. Hey, there's Marie, Tom, and Harry. Beautiful 75 and sunny Wisconsin. Man, it's hot. It was 81 and hot down here. The summer's already coming. I'm already like, oh. All right. My man says, you recommended 4 years of cash based on annual expenses. Do I take out Social Security off that as this guarantee for distribution? Yeah. So my 4-year cash thing, Paul, is like, look, I need $50,000 a year to live on. If Social Security is giving me 25,000 of that, then I literally only need 25,000 in my cash bucket times 4, because Social Security isn't part of the cash bucket. Social Security is a guaranteed income. So again, if I need 50,000 a year to live on, but Social Security is providing me 25, I need 25,000 times 4. Oh, thanks, babe. Weak. Weak. She wasn't trying to get on the TV. Of the thing. Thank you, babe. Salute. Top of the morning to you. So you only need 25,000 a year times 4, and you are good to go. Yeah, Don. Jeez Louise. Don's like, you got 545 videos, and it's like, that's a lot. I was like, that ain't nothing, dude. I do like 3 videos a day, Don. I like it. That's a fun. Let me turn my fan on. Oh, Pablo. Oh. Don't forget, you can get your very own Pablo is retired. Why aren't you t-shirt? Your very own. It's actually a thick. It's pretty thick too, actually. I like it. It's a thick piece of cloth. Hey, Tina in the house. Chicken Charlie. Mortgage rates are forcing me out of the market. That is going to take some demand off, that's for sure. So some of the demand that was previously there, that's probably there simply because people want to get in before the rates went up, will be relieved. There will be less demand. There's still not enough houses, 100%. But no, 100%. The mortgage rates are taking some people out. All right, so let's just do a quick scenario. $100,000 is our present value. 360 is going to be our. Oops, hold on a second. All right, $100,000 is our present value. We're gonna have a mortgage payment for 30 years. 360 is our N. We're gonna have zero future value, and we're gonna say 5% a year interest. Our payment is $535. So at 5% for every $100,000 you borrow, it's gonna be $535. This does not include escrow, just FYI, but $535. So remember that $100,000, 5% interest, 30 years. Every $100,000 you borrow will be $500, and well, for simplicity, say $550 a month. All right. So that meant if you're borrowing $500,000, which hopefully you don't do, but I had to for this, that's going to cost you $2,500 a month. Sans escrow. That was me, and it still is. I've been paying a hell of a lot off it, though. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm about half where I was, but my goal is to pay it off in the next 36 months. Anyway, so that's that. So if you have a 3% interest rate, 3% interest rate. Second. $100,000 present value, zero future value. 360 is our payment. 3% interest, compute payment. 420. So you can see the difference. It's gone up from 3 to 5. It's gone up basically $20 a month, which is a 25% increase. But don't look, man. I don't take this wrong, Brad. That's $120 a month for over the course of 12 months. What is that? $1,500 a year? I don't know. It just seems to me, I think a lot of people are. It's kind of like Social Security. They don't. I'm going to work another 5 years. I'm like, well, if you work another 5 years, you're only going to get 35 more in Social Security. Is it worth it? I don't know. It just seems to me that it's not that big of a deal. $100 a month, $150 a month over the course of 12 months. That's $1,500 to $1,800 a year to be in a house that you like to be in, that you own. I don't know if I would if I sweat that. That's per 100. That's per 100,000. I grant you. I mean, that's per 100,000. If it's a $500,000, this could be 5 times that. So it'd be 1,500 times, 1,500 times 5. It'd be $7,500 a year. You're going to pay more in interest. That might be a deal breaker. I grant you. But $7,500 a month divided by 12. They'll cost an extra $625 a month. I grant you that. I mean, I'm not discounting it, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, $600 a month. I don't know. I frankly, that would not deter me too much if there's a house I want to buy, especially if you think you're going to wait until the market corrects. Because I don't think it's going to happen. I absolutely could be wrong there. I just don't think so. This is not built enough. Not built enough. More demand. Less building, thus less supply, less people trying to sell. Because people like me, I say, man, I got to sell my house. I still got to move someplace. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to take another mortgage for 5%. I just don't want to do it. All right. Can I retire ASAP if my mortgage and household expenses will be 84% of my net retirement income? I don't understand what you're saying. If your mortgage and household expenses are 85% of your net retirement income, I don't know. That seems pretty high to me, man. If you got $100,000 in retirement income, 84,000 of that is going to mortgage and expenses. I wouldn't. Um, Thanks, Marie. I get about 20 to 25 subs a day. I definitely don't get I think I had 1 month where I got like 4,000 subscribers or 3,000, and it's just been slow but steady. It's kind of funny watching it because, new people find my channel. Other people say, this guy's too political, blah, blah, blah. It just comes and goes. It's okay. YouTube is heavy on men. So 85% of the people watch my videos are men. If I wanted to get more subscribers, I'd do more fear porn stuff. I did a video today, I get it. It's boring. The headline doesn't jump out. And what I do here, my video today was, oh, by the way, Kamala 2024. Just got to let you know I'm on the Kamala train, the Kamala Harris train. So I did a video today. Beauty is all around. Not a great headline, but beauty is all around you. I only got 337 views so far. That's 10 out of 10. So they give you this ratings like, how you like. So here I got the dollars crashing. Oh, really? That only got 8 out of 10 views. Only got about 1,000 views so far. So that's 8 out of 10. So that's not good. So the bottom, 8, 9, 10. Now I could, but the reason I knew that wasn't going to get as many views, I said the dollar is crashing, and I put, oh really? I could have easily said the dollar is crashing, do this now, or the dollar is crashing, be prepared. But I've done that before, just kind of get people to watch, and then they say he sounds like he's not saying the dollar is crashing. You know what I'm saying? But you can only do that so many times to get people to say, oh yeah, there's a guy named Wrangler Star. I don't know if y'all ever follow him, but he titles his videos like it's like you watch it, you're like, what did I just watch? That like had nothing to do with the title. It actually ticks. I don't watch him anymore because of that. It ticks me off. I'm like, this is the last time I do this, and you're like, what? And I hate that crap. But anyway, and then here's the 60-40 portfolio is off to its worst start in history, and that's 4 out of 10. So that's pretty good. That's got about 5,000 views so far. I did that this morning, but again, I put the thumbnail, don't jump off a bridge, with the kind of scary lettering right there. Don't jump off a bridge. So again, if I could easily, you can make this stuff get more videos, more views just by, I was watching Jeremy, I forgot his name, Jeremy from the Quartering, and he said, to actually take me off. He said Gonzalo Lira was dead. I said, I hadn't heard that, so maybe Jeremy's got some news that I was not aware of. And then about halfway through his videos, he said, we haven't confirmed it yet. And I forget. It's like, well, if you don't know don't put in your title that he's dead. I hate that crap. So I have a pretty good idea what's going to get. I'm surprised this one didn't get much views. German inflation producer price is highest since 1949. That was interesting. I would have thought that would have got more views because everyone's so afraid of inflation. But so here again, bonds are not getting crushed. So I easily could have got a whole lot more views on that if I said bonds are getting crushed. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes I do that, but anyway. Right here. Here's what I said. Experts, very few Americans are prepared for retirement. And I get a big smiley face thing like that. And now that got 5 out of 10 views, so 4,000. And then right here, panic. Time to panic about real estate. And my whole point was to draw people in to show them that there is no reason to panic about real estate. And that got 3 out of 10 views. So I got 5,300 in my first day or something like that. So it's just like, look, panic. Time to panic about real estate. So I wanted people to watch that video and say, oh my goodness, he's telling us time to panic. And then we watch it and say, oh, that's not what he's talking about. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. There you go. So my man, A-10 pilot, obviously he wasn't an infantry grunt because he was able to figure this out in his head, where it took me all that time to figure out. 600 bond with a 3% coupon would have a yield of 5%. Exactly right. Yeah. All right. So my man says, is everyone keeping his asset allocation this year, or let nerves drive changes? What nerves? I mean, dude, you're down 10%. And I'm trying not to be flippant here. I literally am, but I can't help it, man. I'm like, what? 10%? What? Because the argument is always going to be it could go more. Dude, 100% it could. But why did you have your current asset allocation like it is at the beginning? That doesn't make sense to me. So we invest a certain way because the markets are going up, and then when the markets sideline to go down 10%, we say, "Oh man, I got to change my asset allocation." Well, I literally don't understand that mindset. The whole point about running a Monte Carlo now. This is what kind of made me mad about Bill Bangin today. Yesterday, I was like, Bill Bangin, you're the guy who told everybody about the Fed. I like Bill Bangin, like I said, but I'm just like, it was weird to me. He's the guy who told everybody about the 4% rule. If you stick with the 4% rule, 60-40 stocks, bonds portfolio, you adjust it with inflation, you're going to be fine. Look, I'm just using, this is what the 4% rule is premised on. Just stick it out. You're going to be fine. But then Bill Bangin's got 70% cash. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You're the guy, of all people, you're the guy who should have stuck in your 60-40 or 65-35. It's like, what? And he said, well, I got to get out because I don't want to get killed by, what did he say? I don't want to get killed. I said, but that's what the whole 4% rule is premised on, that when the markets go down, you can avoid being killed. You don't run out of money. It's crazy. Right there. Me too, Jill. Bought my house in 96, paid 8.5%. I was stoked when I got 5.5, deal of the century. Then I got 15-year, paid off completely a few years later. But Jill, you could have made so much more money in the stock market by keeping the debt. We'll see. Eric's asking Brad his credit score. Brad, watch out. Eric's going to say, hey, here's my WhatsApp number, Brad. Oh my God. Eric's like, hey Brad, what's your credit score? What's your what's your mom's maiden name? I'm goofing, Eric. Was it? Oh yeah. But Jill, if you would have kept the debt at 3%, you could have invested and made 3 times that. You're like, yeah, it works until it doesn't. Brad's saying his credit score is 820. Yeah. That's good. All right. Marie says she's keeping her thing. She didn't touch out. Yeah, exactly. No, not Marie. This is Michael. I got Marie on there for some reason. Why are you allocated if you're just going to change it the minute the markets fall 10%? I don't get that. I mean, look, do what you got to do to sleep at night, but I don't understand it, man. I mean, I don't get that. Like, did you not expect this could happen? That's why you do a Monte Carlo. And by the way, for folks who work with me, my Monte Carlo, the downside risk, the standard deviations are significantly higher than what we've had in market crashes of 2008 or 1930. So when I'm using very low rates of return relative to historic norms, and I'm using very high standard deviations, which means we're using very, very cautious, if not outright pessimistic rates of return, just FYI. Why do I think Democrats and Biden do not care about people? Do not care. Oh, I think there's a significant part of the liberal Democratic base that is anti-humanity. I truly do. That's why they're always big on abortion. Now they're always going to, and I almost did a video on this, but I like the lady who wrote this video or wrote the comments. So I'm not going to bag on her. But if you actually that's the question behind the initial question. What it is that they have this fear of too many people. Literally, it's not about kids being born into poverty or kids not without life, kids being raised in the inner city. It's not about that. It's truly about there's too many people, if that makes sense. And the depopulation mindset, the too many people overpopulation mindset is truly, truly satanic. And sadly is taking a good many people with them. And so thus they justify abortion because they think humanity is on the verge of a collapse if we don't have less people. And I see good people on my own channels talking like that. I know how, look, Satan he's good at what he does, man. He's good at what he, trust me. Do not think I'm removed from Satan's temptations. Anyway, But the issue is, I know what's going on behind that is that there's too many people. Too many people means fewer people is a net benefit. That's literally what they think. It's satanic. It's evil. And the pro-abortion lobby, Margaret Sanger, obviously she was a racist as all can be. The Bill Gateses of the world who fund the Planned Parenthoods. These people are just, they don't like people. They just think there's too many. And it's evil, man. And the sad thing is the same people who say that are still here in which to say that. That's why I always say, it's like, there's too many people. I said, yet you're still here. And I stopped listening to Bill Burr. Well, he was a mass Nazi, and I hate that crap. I said, anyone who followed that is whatever. But Bill Burr's a comedian. He's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? He fights back against the woke left, and he's not. He's fake, dude. It actually ticks me off. But anyway, I'll never forget. He talked about it wouldn't be bad if a couple cruise ships went down, and he's supposedly joking. But the point was, he got too many people, so a couple cruise ships go. When you're kind of making fun about people dying, I don't like that. I find that bad. His point was, there's too many people, thus cruise ships going down would be a good thing. There's too many people, so we need to have solar because global warming is going to eat us all. We'll have no food. As he's flying around the world giving tours, comedian tours, in freaking Norway or where the hell he goes. I just chuckled. And lo and behold, a couple years after I stopped listening to him, I found out he's got 2 kids. I said, wait a second. So there's too many people, but not for you, because you are the good one. It's okay for you to have kids, but those people, we know what they're talking about. They're talking about Africa. They're talking about Asia. They're talking about Middle East. We know India. We're not talking about us, the European types. They're talking about those people. They should be the ones that aren't having babies. They should be the ones subject to Bill Gates's experiments. You see what I'm saying? They should be the ones subject to Nestle encouraging moms not to breastfeed their children because the West has all the intelligence. It's sick society, dudes. And I know for a fact that, and I just find it funny. I said, wait, so you're the one arguing that we're global warming, we're all going to die because we won't have enough food, too many people, cruise ships would go down while you're flying around all over the world in your plane, by the way, which is ironic. And then you're going to bring 2 kids to the world. I hate it. It's not just hypocritical, it's evil. Hypocritical is, hypocritical is one thing. We're all hypocrites, man. Christians are the biggest hypocrites there are because we know we're supposed to follow the rules, and the rules we don't. So we're hypocrites, 100%. But to advocate there's too many people, i.e. people dying, is a good thing. Left like war too, by the way. Don't forget, one of the reasons the left likes war is because it does kill people. There's no they aren't necessarily against pestilence, against viruses if they even exist. They're not against all that stuff. Now they're against it if it happens to them because they're scared crapless because they have no soul. Now there's lots of good left wingers, the old hippie types, but some of these guys are just blatantly Bill Gates, just evil people, man, 100%. And we know that because they hate humanity. If you hate humanity, you're inherently an evil person. Wall Street Journal many years ago, I had it, I still keep it upstairs, and I don't think I've laminated it yet, but they talked about how this is probably back in the early 90s, probably 91 or 92. Talk about how the Western, the elite group, they look at Africa, they say a pig is an asset, a child is a liability. I'll never forget reading that. And this is before Paul G. Go took over as the editorial board guy. And as the guy before, I think it was Robert George. It wasn't Robert George. There's Holman Jenkins. I don't think it was him either. He's too young. There's another guy who used to be the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal. I forgot his name. Anyway, I'll never forget. I read that and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. These guys say in Africa, a pig is an asset because you can eat it. A child is a liability because it requires food. And I'll never forget reading that. I kept it because I said, man, that is so right. That's so right. To look at a human being as a liability. If we're made in God's image, you're not. We're not. We all need redemption. We all have a place here, though. And for people to say, well, those brown people, they don't have a place, but us whites, we do. I don't even care. I mean, I'm just using that for Bill Burr because he's white ginger. Of course, he's married to a black lady, so I guess he gets away with it. But to say that we, in the civilized world, we have a place and those people don't, it's freaking disgusting. All right, let's just keep going. Yeah, 100%, 100%, Joe, 5.5. I remember when I got my 7% when Charlotte and I got our first mortgage, 7%. I think the next recession is going to be bad. I don't know how long. I literally have no idea, but I think we're. I mean, look, I have no clue. I have no idea. I have no idea. I look at my concern is Japan. That's all there is to it. To go to a Japan-like economy. That people say, "Oh, you think Japan's bad? They're doing fine." That doesn't mean Japan's like freaking, boiling water to wash. It doesn't mean that. They still got electricity. They still got food and whatnot, but they don't have any growth. They have bad markets for many, many years. You know what I'm saying? They have there's no inflation, no interest rates, no growth, not enough people. It's a decaying society. And to argue against that's happening is just silly. Europe is a decaying society. It's inherently deflationary. And I just don't think people recognize how bad it's going to be under deflation. It is, man. I was talking to a guy today. He wanted the guy who does his lawns is quitting. And I said, why? He goes, because he can't find any labor. And I'm just, what do you think happens when the top down, you got too many older people, not enough young people? You're not going to find a guy to do your lawns. You're not going to find a guy to fix your car. You're not going to find a guy to do this, that, and the other. You're not. You're going to have to get by on less. That's deflationary. Everyone thinks it's the price of goods. No, it's the stuff that you used to be able to get with snapping your fingers. You're not going to be able to get that anymore. My wife was telling me about her brothers who does HVAC stuff. And the lady's like, if you haven't been, what'd she say? Hey, babe, what did that lady say to Danny about not being vaxxed? Oh, yeah. She said, if you loved your family, you get the vax. And what did she say? If you're not vaxxed twice, you got to wear a mask or something like that? I mean, I'm like, lady, do you not know that you're relying on him more than he's relying on you? Because if, right now we might be at the cusp where you can find someone to replace him. But to say to somebody, if you love your family, you get vaxxed, it's just freaking stupid. But on top of that, he's performing a service that you need to live the life that you want to lead. And if he walks out, which he didn't because he's an horrible guy, you're going to have to find somebody else. And that window is shrinking as we sit here. And on top of that, you can take your hoity-toity good time rock and roll crap, plastic banana. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Good time rock and roll, plastic banana. I don't know why'd Rush ever say plastic banana? I never understood that. But that window is closing about how many people are going to jump at your demands that if you love your family, you get vaccinated, you got to wear a mask and all that. It's just not going to happen. All right. Yeah, well, if they just as shame you only buy bonds at 7.17% interest, yeah, if you could buy unlimited, the government would be more bankrupt than it is now. When should someone annuitize a variable annuity? Yeah, it depends. I usually say 70 or so, but I'm not sure your situation, chicken. Generally speaking, you want to have the annuity work itself enough for the fees that you're paying to get the best benefit. Usually the best benefit is about 70. All right. Pablo is with, babes, you got Pablo? Pablo's with mom. Finney's right here. If my company had a rule of 55, their 401k, if I qualify and take it, do I lose it if they change 401k rules and eliminate it? Well, the rule of 55 is based on IRS rules. So if the company changes it, the IRS rules haven't changed. And that's what matters, the IRS rules. So what is a good place to learn about annuities and how are their payouts affected by the market decline? I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that. That's a good question. Total return is always better than dividend growth. Always. People are asking for Pablo. Rob says the employer begged me to retire. They want your butt out of there, man. I don't know if you can transfer TSP to a mutual fund. No issues if you're still there, can you? If you're still working. That's not true, Doug. Doug says old men are the only ones who grew up with a work ethic. I don't buy that. I think I think there's something to be said that more old men had a work ethic and less the young men do. But let's not throw the baby with the bathwater out. There's lots of guys, younger guys, that are kicking ass and taking names. I'm actually optimistic. I really am. I think I'm not pessimistic. How can you be Christian and be pessimistic? You can't. That's impossible. I just think it's gonna be different. I tell you, the whole COVID thing was such a clown show, but I think it woke a lot of people up, man. Things I used to not be able to say very loud, like my stance on various jabs, I can say freely now. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Where I never really cared that much, but I'd always kind of couch it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And now I just don't care. And I think people are starting to see. In fact, I read something today. In fact, I read. Oh, yes. Let's check this. Made me very happy because the pro jabbers don't like this stuff. Let me find out real quick. This was fantastic. Orrin Hatch died. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Disney lost $50 billion in market value since the war with Florida began. That's what I'm talking about. Screw you, Disney. NASA beamed a doctor to the ISS in a first world holoportation achievement. Yeah, right. Hold on a second. Oh boy. Zelensky wants a meeting. We will be expecting the president of the United States come talk to us, says Zelensky. Who the hell is Zelensky to demand even Sniffy Joe? Screw you, Zelensky. Freaking who the hell are you talking about? We expect to have a meeting with the president of the United States. We're already friggin' financing your stuff, man. All right. I want to show you this right here. Hold on just a second. NASA awards SpaceX, 5 other companies, almost $300 million for new communication satellites. But Elon Musk isn't taking the taxpayer money. Yeah, okay. It's weird how many people defend Elon Musk. It's strange. I guess because he's taken on Twitter. Who cares? Why are you even on Twitter? All right, here. This made me happy. All right. The skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. Right there. I said, hey, good stuff. Are people starting to have doubts about routine jabs? That's good. That's good. Many kindergartners fell behind on their childhood vaccines during the pandemic. The drop has not been precipitous. 94% still had their quote required unquote jabs. There's still only a drop of 1 percentage point. Well, that's not that big. But hey, is anything to get people thinking. That's good. So that made me. Hey, so who knows? Anyway, one of the reasons I'm optimistic, I think people are starting to see the medical authorities, public health officials, whatnot, ain't all that in a bag of chips. So the only person that's responsible for your health is you. No other way around that. And the primary care physicians, I got an email today or the other day about the mask, and I said, I just, this is all the fact that people still think we're being talked to as adults and we can debate this. If anyone still thinks that's nuts, it's insane to me. But anyway, oh yeah, old white women know stuff too, 100%. Old people know tons of stuff, man. Old people know tons of stuff. But there's a time there for a few years that if you're, it was still probably around, they probably hit it a little bit more. If you're an old crusty white guy, you had to basically repent for your sins, if that makes sense. All right. My man got a 10-year index annuity 5 years ago, trying to get out of it. Can I take 10% out with no penalty? Yep. You can take 10% a year without no penalty. I think. I mean, every single annuity I've ever seen allows you to do that. Rob's job is being eliminated. and they just entice him to retire sooner. Right on, man. Yeah, we're deplorables, right, Dan? Yeah, right. Puppy Love says, tell the employer to shove it. When things turn around and the employer has the upper hand once again, they won't think twice about getting rid of you. Could not agree more. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but 100%. The employees are in charge now. Starting to see some unions coming back, and like I don't like unions either. Don't get me wrong, but there needs to be checks and balances against unlimited corporate power. That's just a fact. And corporations have had all the power for many, many years, and it's about time that people say no more. I love what's going on at Disney. I'll tell you that right now. Fantastic. Screw you guys. I love what they're doing down there. I don't get, why do you lose a lot of flexibility? I don't get it, Jill. So you're saying 72T. Yeah, I think you're missing what this guy's saying. He says once he's beyond the age of 55, or beyond actually the age of 54, if he separates from service beyond at the age of 55 or later, and he keeps his money in his previous employer's plan, he has access to it without a penalty. You don't lose any flexibility. Just you have to pay income tax on it, but you don't lose flexibility in that regard. Andrew, right there, 30% cash, 7% stocks. A stable value fund is cash. That's freaking perfect, dude. I mean, look at that. That right there is a perfect portfolio. 7% stocks, 30% cash, a stable value fund, basically a G fund, getting close to 2%, no risk of principal, enough cash to get him through to 70, and Social Security. You just can't beat that, man. All right. Dwayne, all right. All right, so I think you guys are missing the 72T. So we're talking about exceptions to the penalty. One of the exceptions to the penalty is what we just said, the 55-year thing. The other is what you guys are thinking, separately equal periodic payments, SEPP, where you got to take a certain amount each and every year until you're 59 and a half, or for, was it 5 years, whichever is longer. So, but there's other exceptions to the penalty, and the 55 rule is one of them. And if you're, law enforcement, first responder, border patrol is 50. It's crazy. Yeah, it's funny. Dan says after he retired, his former employer offered the job he had been turned down for while working there. You were turned down because you're a crusty old white guy, and they said, we don't want that. And now they're like, we need somebody. Is there some tax advantage to do Roths at a certain age? It sounds like you, my friend, need to get a book, which I'm not prepared to show you. Oh, you need to get the book, The Tax Bomb in Your Retirement Accounts, right there. The Tax Bomb in Your Retirement Account, your old buddy Josh, right there. Get the book, and you'll read all about it. Extra, read all about it. I'm not retiring abroad. I love America. Why would anyone? I don't get it. I get people do it. I talk to people do it all the time. I got no qualm with that. Not me. America, baby. America. Yeah, I think 40-year mortgages are probably coming down the pike at some point. I always thought the government should offer 100-year bonds. 100-year bonds, man. Because we're never paying off the debt. It's never happening. Look, we've only, since 1965, we've had 4 years of surplus. That's it. Every other year we've had deficits, which has added to the debt we've accumulated from previous years. It's never going to be paid off. If I was king for a day, I'd say we're refinancing all of our current debt into 100-year bonds. We'll pay 4%. Done and done. See ya. Easy. And I could easily see a 40-year mortgage. I mean, hell, look at car loans. It used to be 60 months, 5 years. Now they're 84 months, 7 years. It's crazy. So 84-month car loan. It's like, man, yeah. Yep. When you were, what I'm saying, Andrew, you got it. All right. I just moved funds from T-Row to Fidelity, expense ratio, and have HSA. All right, there you go. I had less. Rob remembers when I had less than 1,000 subs. That's nuts, dude. Yeah, Rob's been around for a while. Wista in the house. I haven't ticked Rob off yet with my crazy politics. I will. Hey, there's Denise. There's the other Denise. Still haven't heard from her other Denise. Kind of got me concerned. I don't know if anyone's friends with Denise, our friend Denise here on Facebook or anything, but should have a train run get over? Right here. So my man Tom is a Fidelity customer. Has been very happy. So yeah, I think Fidelity's pretty good. I can no qualm with that. Retiring this Saturday, 43 years U.S. Air Force. Retired Master Sergeant. We got to get rid of the term Master Sergeant. My sister was telling me that what'd she say? She texted me that someone at her job was very offended by, I guess, the Master Chief. Is that what it is in the Navy? Master Chief or something like that? And apparently someone at her job was very, very offended by that. Master Chief. So we got to get rid of the term Master Sergeant because that implies slavery. Don't you know? Master Sergeant, slavery. So who is this one talking to? Choctaw Ron. Obviously, you have no sympathy because you're Master Sergeant. How dare you, sir? And I said to my sister, well, you obviously got to get rid of the term first sergeant because what about second sergeant? And how about the ninth sergeant? I mean, those are guys going to be offended because they're not the first sergeant. We got to get rid of that. Oh, yeah. Got to get rid of the term staff sergeant because why is it fair the staff sergeant has a staff and the regular sergeant has no staff? What's up with that? That's just discriminatory. Got to get rid of the term staff sergeant too. What was it? Generals. Be my little general. We got brigadier. Be my major. Lieutenant General. I can't think of anything there. Anyway. Well, we got to get rid of the term major because that's a man's name. Major. Major Lee Majors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Dollar's crashing. It's always been crashing. We're all going to die. Inflation's going to eat us all alive. And yet we're fatter. Look, me. I'm fatter than I've ever been in my life right now. I got to get 10 pounds off. I'm not fatter than I've ever been in my life. But I feel like it. Just because I got 10 extra pounds on this belly of mine. Ooh, fatty, fat. This guy. Hate it. Anyway. But yeah, we've been saying it's going to crash our whole life. I mean, and if you just look at it from an infantile perspective, the dollar has lost 96% of its purchasing power since 1925. No, it just hasn't, though. That's the thing. It hasn't. The things we're purchasing today are a hell of a lot different than the things we're purchasing in 1926. It's just you can't make those comparisons. People do all the time because they want to sell you gold or Bitcoin. It's just what state to retire in if relying on Social Security? Wherever you can get the cheapest cost of living. Probably, I don't know about Tennessee, but probably in Midwest. Missouri, man. I tell you, Missouri's high on my list. We'll never live in the Midwest, but Missouri. Don't overlook Missouri. Jill saying 80 in Indiana. There, Tom put the. I hope you guys are able to see Tom's things. Iris. Well, I'm not going to be able to read that, but everyone panic. Yep. All right. We're gonna. All right. Steve says 5 to 6 years ago from retirement. What dividend funds at Fidelity? I don't know. Marie says, I hate clickbait videos. Keep it. Hey, thanks. Gotta take power for a walk. Gotta take power for a walk. Good. Yeah, right here. My man Dan. My asset allocation is the same. 3 bucket system. 3 years cash. 100%. Man. I could not agree more. Oh, here comes Rhonda. I'm gonna retire. Appreciate your guidance. That's freaking awesome, Rhonda. I love that stuff. Kicking ass. I would use a Vanguard people, Jimmy. 100%. See what they got. I got no problem with them. I just know a lot of these big box financial planning stores, it's, buyer beware. Because I know people work there. Some are freaking kick ass, take names. Some are just aren't. It really depends. How do you know? Well, you get a feel. Go with your gut, man. Go with your gut. if the guy is too quick on the draw to answer questions without saying, let me think, or if he doesn't ask you any questions, first and foremost, I don't know how it works at Vanguard. I don't know. But anyway, if the guy's like telling you everything and not asking questions, that's wrong. The guy needs to be asking questions. Like, what are you doing? What's going on here? What are we trying to accomplish? What? Now, the problem that you have, I know at Schwab for a fact, they got 15 and 45-minute time frames. That's it. That's it. So if they ask you too many questions, they get dinged because they're taking too long on the call. I imagine the same thing at Vanguard. I don't know that for a fact, but the problem is if he just spouting to you what you should do without at least understanding what's going on, that's the wrong answer. If they ask a question, he's just pulling stuff out of his butt, that for a fact he's pulling stuff out of his butt, then that's the wrong answer too. It's okay for somebody to say, I don't know. I don't know. Have you looked at the IRS guidelines like Tom posts? I don't know. So I say it all, trust me, I say it all the time. I don't know. Because why would I know everything? You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. You got to do some research on this. And frankly, your money is worth the time for you to do your own research. But like I said, I know some guys who are Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab, all three. And those guys, some of those guys are freaking rock solid. Some aren't. It's tough. But the issue is that, how do you know that? You just got to go with your gut, man. You just got to say, this guy seemed like he seemed like he knew too much, if that makes sense. And you know that. I hope that makes sense. All right. Have I ever done a review of the Buffett 90? I wouldn't do that. No way. 90-10, 90% S&P 500, only 10% in short-term bonds? No, not me. Yeah, humanism like pregnancy. You just can't be a little bit. Yep. My man Vaughn sold everything but doggy coin. Sweet. All right. Oh, man, for real? The money guy got gimmicky and stopped addressing fine points. That's too bad. I'm not sure if it was a money guy, but I think who's the guy? Yeah, the guys up in Tennessee. Yeah, those guys. They always do videos on the average retirement savings. I don't watch them. I just see them. It goes through my thing and say, I know that for some reason that drives a lot of views. I don't get it, but I get it. I'm like, it's interesting. What is the average? But it seems like they do a lot of videos on that. The average retirement savings. Or I'm just like, I don't know. I get it. I've done one, maybe two videos on that of the 5,500 videos I've done. I just, why does it matter? Look, I get it, but it just seems like they do a lot. And I'm not bashing the people up there in Franklin, Tennessee. I don't know. I just don't know if that's helpful. Maybe some people it is. Not sure why, but I don't know. I'd rather have more informed stuff. Hell, I'd rather watch a Nick Johnson or The World According to Griggs or Briggs. Talk about places, real estate and things like that. Those kind of videos I enjoy. Like Nick Johnson, man. Nick Johnson. I hope y'all know him from North Carolina. He drives these communities, and that guy. Love that guy's YouTube channel. I haven't watched it for a while. Don't know who David Payne is. Yeah, I don't get the premium stuff to get Yellowstone. I heard it's pretty good. I just don't. I haven't heard anything about Denise Harry. I don't know what's going on. It scares me, man. And I don't have her number to call her either. I tried looking her up on Facebook and I couldn't find any contact information. So I don't know what's going on, man. I get that makes me nervous. And I don't know. Again, I don't know her phone number. And friends celebrated Earth Day. That. Well, that's the issue. Who will buy Microsoft products if there are fewer people in the world? That's 100% the issue. That's deflation. Less people to buy stuff. And we know what drives growth is consumer spending. Consumer spending drives growth. It's not anything else. It's just not. It's not government debt. It's consumer spending. So you have less people spending, you got less growth. That's just a fact. See, I've heard this. I wonder if it's true, Johnny. My man Johnny Ripple says the average 18-year-old has had the same testosterone levels of a 60-year-old post WW2. Is that true? Is that just Mike Adams over at? Look, I don't have any qualm with Mike Adams. Some of the stuff is, I don't know. I always Yeah, I don't know that to be true or not. Is that true? Do we truly know that's the case? Mike Adams at the Health Ranger, and I don't follow that guy that much. But yeah, there's some people that on my side of the political aisle that are just as clickbaitish as other people, and I don't like that either. Tyler says my mom's in her 50s, has around 60 plus Social Security. She owns her house. What would I recommend? I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking me there. I recommend that she stays out of debt. My man says, I'm a sinner by forgiveness of sins, humility, and redemption. Dan said that. All right. My man says, Dougie Fresh, struggling taking pension. So my man's going to get $1,700 a month. Divide that by, it's 21,000 a year, divided by 342,000 with 100% survivor benefit. That doesn't seem like a struggle to me. It's a 6.16% distribution yield. Bob says Japan outstripped their innovation in Europe. Yeah. Shake and Bake says if I start doing Roth conversions, I'll be the 24% tax bracket. My expectation is 22% tax bracket. Should I start converting? I wouldn't. Jill said she took her mortgage payment to directly in retirement accounts. Exactly. Once you're paid off, you can have a lot more to reinvest. Absolutely. No, you buy Denver steaks, man. Denver steaks. I'm telling you right now, Dan. Denver steaks is like the redheaded stepchild of the ribeye, and they are good. I had one for dinner tonight, as a matter of fact, from Pines. Let me show you Pine Street Market. Oh, Denver steaks. Mm. Oh man. So it's apparently a new cut that some professor in University of Denver. Literally, that's where they got Denver steaks from. So anyway, checked. Oh man, I had one for dinner tonight. Pine Street Market right here in Atlanta. You can get it. You can order it. Get sent to you. Again, if you're a Earth Day guy, don't get stuff shipped because we know the shipping puts CO2 in the atmosphere. Oh no, CO2 is going to kill us all. So let's go to beef tenderloin steak. Oh man, there's a loin right there. Strip steak, loin, T-bone, the loin. Oh, the loins. But check this out. We're going to look for Denver. There's a ribeye. Oh, rib loin, bone in rib loin. I want to go to flank. Oh, I love me some flank steaks for you know what I'm talking about. Friggin' tortillas, not tortillas. Flank steak for enchiladas, fajitas. Right, so Denver steak right there. Oh, dude. And then you got the chuck ribeye right there. The chuck, trust me, this chuck ribeye, it's a poor man's ribeye. That's right there. That's where the Denver steak is right here. So I went to a class this guy gave, and he said basically take the chuck, and this side of the chuck is the Denver. And apparently this professor at University of Denver found it. He said, man, it's just like a ribeye. But because it's on the chuck, whereas the ribeye is on the loin right there, people say, oh my. So basically it's like literally, let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's the loin. So apparently it's because it's on this side, but it's it's the same thing. But because it's on the chuck as opposed to the rib loin, no one wanted the chuck. They said, I just grind it up for hamburgers. And this guy from the University of Denver said, no, we're going to make it as a steak. So $32 a pound for ribeye. Go down here to Denver, 17. Ribeye, barrel cut ribeye right there too. It's another poor man's ribeye. Oh man, chuck ribeye. Oh man, trust me, I got all this. I could eat that all day long. Anyway, so they got classes here, which is pretty cool. So the one class, if you're in Atlanta, I went to this class. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to this in July, whole hog butchering class. Cannot wait. And there's a guy right. Yeah, these two guys right here. Meet me in the middle of the class dedicated to exploring the cuts that come from the middle section of the animal. So I'm going to go hit this whole hog butchering class. I'm going, let's see. Meet me in the middle right there. That's what I went to. Yep, strip loin, pork middle. Oh, man. Oh, it's good. And you walk, it's fantastic, man. You walk out, and if you like to drink beer, it says some beer place, which I don't drink. It's fantastic. All right, dude, for the love of the good Lord. My man AJ, I'm 27 with 250,000 invested in VTI. Should be worried about losing everything or just keep investing each month. So what would you do differently? Put in cash? I don't know. I mean, if you got debt, yeah. If you don't have any debt, just keep plugging away. Stop. Jeez, man. 27. Of course, you should be worried about losing everything, and then you snap out of it. Say, there's nothing I can do about it anyway. If you want to put in cash, that's fine. But you're 27, dude. You know what I'm saying? You're plugging away. Plug. If you got a bunch of debt, I'd probably pay it off. But other than that, nothing. What are you going to worry about? Worried about this? Come on. We're not going to war. I mean, if the globalists get their way, we'll certainly go to war, but we're not going to fight it. We're going to pay Ukrainians to fight it for us because we have money to burn, apparently. It's crazy. All right. Yeah, right here. I left my man. He left 20,000 in TSP. Good move, man. Good move. I wouldn't touch Disney with a 10-foot pole. Man, I wouldn't. I mean, you want to be part? I mean, just because they're down 50% or 50 billion bucks or whatever it is, you want to own that kind of company? I don't. Now, look, I recognize I own it in my VTI. I guarantee you I do. But I would not make a decision to buy it explicitly. But you can. I would wonder why would anyone do that. But I wouldn't. Let's just put it that way. But Bob, if you want to, I'm not gonna yell at you. I just wouldn't. But I do own it in VTI. I guarantee you. I completely agree. If VTI went to nothing, you're not gonna be. You're gonna have a whole lot more to worry about than your investments. That's for sure. 100%. How dare you, Fuzzy Dice? How dare you? How dare you not let Fauci experiment? Nicole's a first-time listener. Right on. You got it. Welcome aboard, Nicole. Appreciate you being here. My man Michael Candello said he just subscribed. Ooh, costs a lot of money for the subscription. That's the thing about capitalism. When supply and demand is in your favor, people love capitalism. When it's against you, people hate it. Well, we're not living in capitalism, brother. This is far from it. That's just a fact. Well, let's put it this way. We're not living in free markets. Let's put that. We're living in fascists. It's no different than the VW under Hitler. And we got, oh my goodness, you're comparing current America to Hitler? Well, from a fascist state, yes. Fascism is big government, barking orders at big business, and big border says, yes, sir. That's exactly what's happening. If you think Facebook and Twitter and all these guys aren't taking lessons from government, you're crazy. I'm not saying Tyler's crazy. I'm just saying, no, it's all government is telling freaking business what to do. I mean, look, come on. Twitter. Why do you think there's such a big issue with what's his name, Elon buying out Twitter? Because they're worried. It's like, well, if Elon buys it out, that's going to stop the government from being able to police up speech they don't like. I mean, come on. Hey, why do you think they love the higher minimum wage? You think it's because they care about people working, get a hhigher wage? No, it eliminates competition. And then they get to buy out the freaking corporate lackeys who say, I'll do whatever you say. Just let me make my mint. I am literally more and more convinced that there is no such thing as a righteous billionaire, if that makes sense. None of these people got their wealth by being Hank Rearden in Atlas Shrugged, that's for sure. I mean, does that mean you go out and there yell at people? No, I just, at the end of the day, man, it's like, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. Big business is going to big business, and big government is going to big government. And, you try to keep as far removed from you as you can. And I'm using big business right here on this website, on what we're doing now. So I'm, again, being back to hypocritical, 100%. All right. So, Kay said, laid off at the beginning of COVID. 7 months later, they asked me to come back as a contractor, 100% work from home, and doubled my previous salary. Freaking awesome. They need you more than you need them, my friends. Don't forget that. You can get the book on Amazon. Just type in my name, Scanlon, Josh Scanlon. Now, my dad's wife has some books on there. I don't have a relationship with either of those two people, so please do not mix me up. Don't buy her stuff. I'm not saying don't buy. I don't care. But when you type in my last name, Scanlon, you're gonna see my dad's wife's name, and I think you have my dad on there. I don't know. You want to buy whatever you want to buy, but that has nothing to do with me. Just as an FYI. Yeah, right on, Harry. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Zelensky wants to push the puppet around. Right on, man. I've ticked off everybody at one point. I might even start listening to Pink Floyd. I can't believe I'm saying that. I might even start listening to Pink Floyd, Pulverizer. And I have to pull down my video on Pink Floyd if I do. Some of those lyrics are pretty fantastic. I was listening to Owen Benjamin read some of the lyrics. I was like, damn, those are pretty good lyrics. What's happened to me, man? Oh my goodness. Pink Floyd, no. You guys ever listen to that Rick Beato guy? He had some guy on a video, a music guy. I love his channel, but he had a guy on there. I can't remember the guy's name. And Rick's like, this is like a great song. I can't believe it wasn't popular. I'm listening to him like, oh, nothing against the songwriter, but this just bores the hell out of me. I said, how do people like this crap? It's like Coldplay with a little bit more of a rock sound. I said, ugh. And Rick, and I like Rick. I don't know him, but he's local Atlanta. And I just said, and Rick's like, I can't believe this didn't become a hit. I was like, Rick, how do you like that stuff? Oh man, I'm just like, dude, bores. I was like, and it's so weird. I wonder why some people like certain kinds of music, other people like others. Like, I love metal, not gonna lie. I always love metal. Been a big metal fan, big rock fan, love metal, but I also like some bluegrass, like some Americana country. Do not like George George Strait's okay. What's the guy? Garth Brooks. Oh no Garth Brooks. None of that freaking. What's Graham? I can't remember Graham's name. He's got a YouTube channel on country music. Bro country. Oh, so bad. Just drop me into a pool of starving sharks after you cut me up and I'm bleeding all over the place because bro country is the worst. I do like some bluegrass. I do like some rhythm and blues, some R&B. Never been a big jazz fan. Literally doesn't do anything for me. The closest thing I like to jazz would be fusion, but even that I don't like that much. It's okay. Some of it's pretty good. Like ska, a little bit. My mom and dad used to play Peter Tosh when I was growing up, so I've always had I've always enjoyed a little bit of reggae. I think I think reggae is more for rich white kids who, hey man, I want to get stoned, good time rock and roll. But Bob Marley is actually pretty based. If you read his lyrics, they're pretty fantastic. I'm not sure Bob wrote the Wailers or Peter Tosh. I'm not sure actually. I think Bob Marley did write the lyrics. But that kind of like modern rock, just horrible. Oh, Petty, right on. Bob says, what about Petty? That's right. How dare you, Rob? How flippin' dare you? I'm gonna ban you. Still got the wrench? I'm taking it away. I've lost pretty much all trust in doctors and the health system. Oh, 100%, Joe. I mean, I haven't lost it. It's been a long time since I had it. That's for sure. I don't want to live in the Midwest. I would. Think my better half would ever want to live in Missouri? No. I would live there, but look at see right there. That's where I'm from. I need to be near water. The smell of the salt water just makes me happy when skies are gray. Zion National Park, 49. Yeah, but you can't really get a stable value fund in a non 401k. So, yeah, it's a good way to save for a down payment. But how are you going to move that money out of the stable value fund for the 401 for the down payment? You're going to pay tax on it. Why do people want to come to the U.S.? Poor people overweight. Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying. So, hey, you come here, you'll get fat. All right, there's Clint. Oh my goodness, Clint, Master Sergeant House. How dare you, Clint? How flippin' dare you? It's just racist. Why? Why, Clint? Why did you do that, man? How dare you ever go to Fort Benning, by the way? How dare you, Fort Bragg? They never changed the names. I remember even during when Trump was still in office, he wasn't. There was a little bit of a could-do or whatever it's called about changing the names of Fort Benning and Bragg. And I remember even some Republicans, like freaking idiot Lindsey Graham, they were on board with that. I said, "You freaking scumbags! You can't. I'll never. It's like you change the name of Fort Benning, Fort Bragg, and there's another one too. I don't think it's Fort Gordon. I forgot what it was. But I was like, you guys are freaking ass clowns, pardon my French. The fact that Republicans didn't nip that in the bud right out the gate. Like, notice Republicans aren't doing anything to defend Marjorie Taylor Greene. The Democrats, if the Republicans try to get rid of one of their crazy congresswomen, and I don't think I like MGT, whatever it is. I like her. I don't even care what her politics are, but just the fact that everybody hates her, I like her. But if the Republicans ever try to get rid of one of their crazy congresswomen or congresspeople, the Democrats would freaking circle the wagons. Oh, did I just say circle the wagons? That's racist. They'd circle the wagons in defense. Not one Republican other than Thomas Massie has actually come out in defense of Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's freaking, these guys are scoundrels, man. Not one. But if it went the other way, Nancy Pelosi said, "Yeah, she got rightly elected. Don't like her, and then vote against her." That's simple. But the Republicans are because they're Stockholm syndrome, man. And I despise the Democrats because they're evil. But man, I'm starting to despise the Republicans even more because they have it's not even a spine. I don't think Republicans go there to change things. They might initially, but then they get bought out 100%. And I think Republicans, they don't want to move the country in a winning direction. They just want to move it in their pocketbooks 100%. Whereas the Democrats, I truly think they want to get rich, don't get me wrong, but they also want to make the country bad because they don't like the country. They don't like the country as people. And the Republicans, I think they like the country, but they like the country as long as they're getting rich. You see what I'm saying? I can't believe it. I'm like sitting there thinking this would never, if they went after AOC and said you can't run, or what's someone who's not even in your district or something like that, whatever. There's so many shenanigans. The Democrats would totally circle the wagons. And the other Republicans like, well, we'll let the legal system play out. Well, how about freaking throw a line to the people who are on your party, you freaking scum? Hey, you got a new puppy. Right on, man. Oh man, that's awesome. Glenn's going to quit in June. Had a great prospect for a 3-hour, 3-day-a-week part-time job, teaching kids 5 to 18 to play golf. Oh, jeez. That's a tough life. Tough life. Still like Wellington. I love Wellington, man. 100%. That's right. My biggest holding is Wellington, just as an FYI. I haven't changed a thing. Wellington for me, Wellington or bust. Love it. All right. Yeah, see, and I get you, John. The testosterone thing. Let's not until we find out for sure. Let's not. It's kind of I don't know. It's like a stupid snake venom thing. I had a number of people send me emails on the snake. I don't even know what it was. I just said let's not. There's enough to indict the powers that be without going in the rabbit holes of even weirder conspiracies, if that makes sense. And I would not be surprised, Jeremy, if testosterone levels are low. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And maybe it's because of Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? People say, "Oh, that's great." I don't know, but I mean, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that. I could see it happening for sure. Wi-Fi, all that stuff, maybe it's reducing testosterone levels. A, I don't know that testosterone levels are reduced. I 100% would think it's probably true. B, I don't know if it's Wi-Fi or not, but I could easily see it happening like that. But we got enough to show that the power structure that is freaking clown show as is. We don't need to go down those things. All we got to do is say what happened the last 2 years. That's it. Last 2 years. And you say, yeah, and then don't tell me that's a one-off, because we know for a fact the same thing happened in 2009. How do we know it happened in 2009? Because they actually let articles be written in 2009 about the World Health Organization creating this false pandemic in order to get money sent to them, which is exactly what they did. And they did it well. But mainstream news items were actually writing about that. We know for a fact the World Economic Forum is out there up to no good, because they had written about it. And then they pulled these articles down when people started paying attention to them, like my man Dave Cullen over at Computing Forever on BitChute, or computingforever.com if you want to go there. We know these for a fact. We know for a fact this stuff happened. Never mind all the previous stuff that if people want to go into in terms of various jabbas and various dietary things and things of that nature. We know it's all just, never mind climate science. The whole thing's just a scam. But anyway, we don't need to go down these rabbit holes without any evidence, because we have too much as it is. And so what happens is the people who are, "Oh, you're crazy. You must think the frogs turned gay or something like that." Well, there is some evidence of that actually, but it's not even, why even go down that road? It doesn't matter, because the evidence is so overwhelming that these guys are up to no good, and they're trying desperately to make us an old feudal system. You got the rich elites and you got everybody else on their land. That's literally what they're trying to do. It's the old feudal system of the old days. You know what I'm saying? Sharecroppers. We're all going to be sharecroppers. Leasing land, paying the taxes, while the rich, the Bill Gateses of the world, Elon Musks of the world, all that, they just walk all over us. You can see that a mile away. But no, Josh, why would they do that? Because they can. Because they can. That's why they do it. Why would they do that? Why would they lie? Because they get away with it. They lie all the time. I don't even know what to tell you. I bought hook, on and sinker that the FBI was going to do something with Hillary's emails. I thought, well, the FBI, they're righteous. No, I mean, look, many people in the FBI are. The top down isn't, though. And I recognized, I said, no. And I said, well, if they didn't do anything with that, what happened to all the other crap, man? What happened with the friggin' weapons of mass destruction? Oklahoma City. What happened there? You know what I'm saying? And that's still to this day. Why did they not do anything with these various terrorists that they had access to and were actually delivering to do their evil deeds? Why did the FBI be part of the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping thing? Why did the FBI be part of the January 6th freaking whatever the hell that is? The whole thing's nuts. It's nuts. And people who still discount that as if our government is operating for our best interest are crazy. They're crazy. That doesn't mean you get mad and say, "Oh, I mean, you get mad," but you say, "Okay, well, I mean, the government is, I can't do anything about that. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. My dog right there, my kids, my wife, pay off my debt, try to learn to grow my own food, and just enjoy what I got. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that guy right there. Nothing else matters. And as long as I got that guy, all is good." Yikes, don't put that pressure on me, Dennis. Dennis saying I retired, my portfolio is taking a beating. Well, if it's in VTI and BND, it's not taking a beating. It's only down 10%. If you're in other things, it might well be. But we got me to look out. No, you got your new puppy to look out for you. All right. Gotcha. All right, I'm going to get ready to get out of here, my friends. I'm getting tired all of a sudden. Yeah, well, what I'm saying, there's a lot of disposable income out there, but there's been a lot of disposable income for many, many years. America is still a very wealthy country by far. I got 2 videos I'm going to do tomorrow. Someone sent this to me. I think it might be on here. Retired and Loving It. Was that the guy who sent this to me? I'm going to show you right here. What country has the richest retirees? By far and away, and the happiest retirees, by my man Andy Biggs, who I love. And then I'm going to do one on... because America still kicks ass, man. Yeah, we got a bunch of fat, poor people. I get all that. I'm fat. I mean, we all have to lose some weight. I get 1%. But we're still the most innovative. We still kick ass. We still got the best work ethic. And we're still the freest. There's no other place that comes close. No other place that comes close. Look, I'm not moving to Oregon or California or Washington. They all can kiss my behind. But New York, nope. But there's many places in the United States that aren't run like Oregon and California and Washington State. My state here in Georgia, hell, even my state of Maine originally. You know what I'm saying? It's not run like that. I mean, it's still got a lefty governor and lefty legislatures, but by and large, it's New Hampshire right up there. Lots of good places for a lot of people to live in the United States to be free. It doesn't cost that much if you have no debt. Anyway, I was going to show you something. This other one real quick. Cost of living in a global comparison. I thought this was pretty interesting because someone's like, China's prosperous. They exported their way to prosperity. In the feudal system, they did. Not for the average Joe. No, the GDP per capita in China isn't that great relative to the rest of many parts of the world. It's just not. And the cost of living, purchasing power related to average income. I can't wait to do this. So the U.S. is at 100. So right here we're at 100. So $100 in the U.S. only buys $61 in the U.K. $100 in the U.S. only buys $90 worth of stuff in Switzerland in terms of their dollars, if that makes sense. Look at that, dude. Now, it's cheaper to live in Luxembourg, cheaper to live in Norway and Bermuda. But look at this. Here's 68. Canada. Cost of living in the U.S. is much lower than Canada. So they give us an example right up here, right here. They say, we adjusted the average cost of living inside the U.S. To an index of 100. All other countries are related to this index. Therefore, with an index of 80, the usual expenses in another country are 20% less than the U.S. All right. So if the expenses are 80, that is 20% less than the U.S. However, the calculated purchasing power is again based on 100. If it is higher than the U.S., people can afford more on the cost of living in relation to income. If it's lower, the population is less wealthy. So again, even though it says this 80, you'd think that'd be good. No. The example, with a cost of living on the index of 141, Switzerland, with a cost of living index of 141, all goods on average are about 41% more expensive than the U.S. But the average income in Switzerland is about 28% higher, which means that citizens can afford more goods. But now you calculate that 41% higher cost against a 21% higher income, and the results is people in Switzerland can afford about 9% less than the U.S. So Switzerland will have an index number of 91 because they afford 9% less than what we do in the United States. And there we go, Switzerland. So I hope that makes sense. So in all things, comparing apples to apples, the Cayman Islands, you can afford 71% or basically 30% less than what we can in the U.S. In Israel, 53% or 47% less than the U.S. Barbados, I don't even know what these states are, countries are. Ireland, Denmark, Iceland. Remember Europe? Everyone wants to live in Europe. No, dude. And in Iceland, it's 81. You're basically 20% less is what you can afford there. This place right here, Bahamas. Damn, I didn't know Bahamas. That's crazy. UK, Canada, Belgium, France. I mean, who wants to live in any of these places anyway, man? No one does. I mean, look at that. Here's Hong Kong, Spain, South Korea, Italy. It's all, you can afford less in these places. Now you can live in Singapore. Oh, great. Who wants to live in Singapore? I got no problem with people from Singapore. Look at Portugal, Greece. Nuts. I mean, I don't know. So people say U.S. is so expensive. Yeah, USA or bust, baby. That's what I say. Oh yeah, say it. All right, real quick. Let's say a quick prayer. Name Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we just pray for Denise. We haven't heard from her and her husband in over a week now. She was on the live stream last week. We haven't heard from anything. I haven't heard from anything. I've emailed her a couple times. We pray for all people right now who have friends and family members who are suffering for whatever reason, whatever the cause. We pray for them. We know at the end of the day, you rule. your will be done. We just ask, Lord, that we have understanding to understand why things happen the way they do, to be patient, to understand your guidance is supreme over everything, and just be patient in our understanding of why things are happening the way they are. And we just pray for any family member, any friend who is suffering right now and worry for love. We pray in Jesus' name, amen. All right, it's a good place to stop, my friends. We're going to get out of here. I salute you guys. God bless. And America, baby. We'll see you.